When talking about modern Brazilian cinema, one actor who consistently stands out is Wagner Moura. From intense action films to his international television success, Moura has built a reputation as one of the most compelling performers working today. In the 2025 historical political thriller The Secret Agent, Moura delivers yet another layered and fascinating performance in a film that is both powerful and deeply unsettling. Directed by acclaimed Brazilian filmmaker Kleber Mendonça Filho, the film takes audiences back to one of the darkest periods in Brazilian history, the military dictatorship that ruled the country from 1964 to 1985. But The Secret Agent is not a conventional political thriller. It's a slow, atmospheric, deeply immersive piece of cinema that feels almost like stepping into a documentary about 1970s Brazil. And while the film may divide audiences, it is undeniably fascinating. At the center of the film is Marcelo, played here by Wagner Moura, a former professor living in the city of Recife during the late 1970s. At first, the title might lead audiences to believe that Marcelo is some sort of spy or undercover operative, but that expectation is deliberately misleading. Marcelo is not a secret agent at all. Instead, he's an ordinary man caught in the paranoia, surveillance, and political violence of Brazil's military dictatorship. The film slowly reveals how life under the regime affected everyday people, not through dramatic and action sequences, but through tension, silence, and the ever-present fear of the unknown. This era of Brazil's history began after the military coup of April 1, 1964, which overthrew the government and established a regime that would last for some 21 years. During this period, political dissidents were monitored, arrested, tortured, and in many cases simply disappeared. The film captures this atmosphere perfectly, a society where people constantly fear that someone, somewhere, might be watching. That idea ties directly into the film's title. In Brazil, during the dictatorship, the term secret agent was often used to describe unidentified operatives connected to the government, shadowy figures involved in surveillance and intimidation. The film plays with that meaning, because by the end the real question becomes, who is the true secret agent? Is it the state, the informers, or perhaps memory itself? Another film I must recommend, which definitely delves into this subject, is I'm Still Here, a 2024 political biographical drama directed by Walter Salles. The story revolves around Eunice Paiva, a mother and activist coping with the forced disappearance of her husband, the dissident politician Rubens Paiva, during the military dictatorship in Brazil. Now, one of the main reasons to watch The Secret Agent is Wagner Moura himself. Many audiences first discovered Moura internationally through the Netflix crime series Narcos, where he portrayed the infamous Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, a performance that earned him a Golden Globe nomination. Before that, he was already a major star in Brazil thanks to his acclaimed crime film Elite Squad. Over the years, Moura has proven himself to be one of the most layered and fascinating actors in international cinema, and The Secret Agent is very much built around him. This is essentially his film. He carries the entire story on his shoulders. His performance is subtle, introspective, and quietly powerful. Interestingly, this film marks Moura's first Portuguese language production in many years, making the role feel even more significant within his career. And that performance was widely celebrated. At the Cannes Film Festival, Wagner Moura made history by becoming the first Brazilian male actor ever to win the Best Actor award at the festival. Now, one of the most striking aspects of The Secret Agent is its filmmaking style. Rather than relying on traditional thriller pacing, director Filho adopts a style that feels almost observational. The film unfolds slowly, sometimes even deliberately, wandering in different directions. At times it may feel like the story isn't going anywhere, but that's actually part of the experience. What the film does incredibly well is recreate the atmosphere of 1970s Recife, immersing the audience in the culture, sounds, and everyday life of the period. And the casting is exceptional. Many performers feel so natural that it almost seems like you're watching real people rather than actors, and that realism gives the film its documentary-like quality. Another fascinating element is how deeply the film draws from regional culture. There are numerous references to traditions of Brazilian state of Pernambuco. One memorable moment features a carnival costume resembling a bear, a reference to the traditional celebration known as La Ossa. This folkloric performance dates back generations and involves a costumed bear, its trainer, and a hunter entertaining crowds during carnival festivities. The bear costume is typically handmade from fabric scraps and burlap with a colourful paper mache mask. These small cultural details give the film its authenticity and richness, grounding the story firmly within the traditions of northeastern Brazil. Now, one of the strangest and most memorable aspects of the film involves the urban legend known as the hairy leg. Originating in Recife, this folklore describes a supernatural white leg covered in hair that appears at night, kicking and attacking people. The legend became popular in the 1970s and was widely reported in newspapers. Some believe the story may have been invented by journalists to bypass censorship during the dictatorship. By publishing strange and supernatural stories, writers could indirectly comment on violence and fear without triggering government crackdowns. The myth eventually spread throughout Brazilian culture, inspiring books, comics, carnival songs, and even music, including references in Brazilian musician Chico Science's work. In The Secret Agent, this legend adds another eerie layer to the film's atmosphere. There's also a surprising cinematic connection to one of the most famous films of the 1970s, namely Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. Coincidentally, Jaws re-released in Brazilian cinemas for its 50th anniversary at the exact same time The Secret Agent was playing in theaters. In many cinemas, trailers for Jaws were shown just before the screenings of the film, creating an unexpected link between the two movies. The connection is even more personal for director Kleber Mendonça Filho, since his hometown of Recife has historically dealt with real shark-related incidents. Now, one of the most debated aspects of the film is its ending. Actress Laura Lufsisi, who plays researcher Flavia in the film, described the ending as deliberately unsettling. According to her, the conclusion is intentionally anticlimactic. There's no dramatic resolution, no clear emotional closure, and that discomfort is exactly what the director intended. The story, she explains, is not just about memory, but also about forgetting, about how history can disappear, like people who vanished during the dictatorship. The film also features a brief but memorable cameo by legendary German actor Udo Kier. Kier plays Hans, a German Jewish man living in Recife. Though the role is small, it carries emotional weight. Tragically, The Secret Agent would become the final film appearance of Udo Kier, who had passed away shortly after the production, at the age of 81. He had previously worked with Mendonça Filho on the film Barraquio and returned to Brazil specifically to shoot scenes for this film. Now, personally, I find The Secret Agent to be a fascinating piece of cinema, but not necessarily an easy one. The film is long, and at times it can feel somewhat confusing. The narrative occasionally seems to drift, and there are moments where you feel the story could have been tighter or more focused. In fact, another recent film about the Brazilian dictatorship, which I mentioned earlier, I'm Still Here, is arguably a stronger historical take, more direct and emotionally gripping than this film. But what makes The Secret Agent stand out is its atmosphere, its style, its immersion into the culture of the late 1970s Recife. This is not a casual movie night film. It requires concentration, patience, and engagement with the deeper themes of memory, history, and political trauma. But if you're willing to give that attention, the rewards are substantial. Wagner Moura is absolutely superb. The cast feels authentic and natural, and the filmmaking style creates a haunting portrait of society living under quiet oppression. For me, despite its flaws, The Secret Agent is a powerful and deeply fascinating film. The Secret Agent gets an 8.5 out of 10. So what did you think of The Secret Agent? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dive reviews.